So there is an ebb and flow to everything. Thoughts, feelings, and emotions will always pass. Happiness will always follow sadness. Sadness will always follow happiness. And it's a play of life. And once this play of life is recognized and the patterns are seen and identified, there is the ability to then witness these patterns and to see that life, however it goes, is following a pattern, an ebb and flow. 1 minute we're up, next minute we're down. So as we witness this, we realize, well, what is it that witnesses this? And we realize what our true nature is, this infiniteness, this ability to be and not to be, this perfect contradiction which makes perfect sense when it's experienced but are not experienced by anybody. And for a mind trying to follow that sounds so infuriating, because it encapsulates everything and yet it encapsulates nothing. So we watch that there's this ebb and flow, and we transcend this ebb and flow of life and realize that emotions will do what emotions do, thoughts will do what thoughts do, and feelings will do what feelings will do. And yet it's realized that you're not separate from the thought, the feeling, or the emotion, that there is really no separateness between this and that it is all in fact one, masquerading in as many different ways as humanly possible in order to know itself, to lose itself, and to play the play out. And in that there is a great expanse, because there is nothing that can be looked at or viewed at that is separate from us. And there is a playfulness, an expanse, and a realization that it is just simply this. But what's going on in this is not conceptual, it's a practical reality. And there is this ability to let go and let God, and to surrender to this reality, and yet simultaneously there is this ability to shape and fashion this reality as well, through conscious creating, through the law of attraction, through putting out a thought in this expanse, in this reality, and watching it bounce back or to become something, and yet at the same time realizing that it doesn't really matter as well. So it's both sides of the equation, and in that the equation collapses, and it just becomes this oneness. And in this oneness there is no need then to, in a sense, try to understand it, try to break it down, try to do this or that or whatever. It just simply becomes this perfect, complete isness. And even that's a complication as well. So as I'm speaking, this talk, this video is just collapsing, because it really doesn't matter, and yet it has every relevancy for those who feel there is a relevancy here. So in seeing that there is this oneness, and yet the appearance of layers in this oneness, and the appearance of levels and practice and techniques and mantras, everything is accepted, and whatever then needs to be rejected is also rejected as well. And it's a balancing act which is, to the uninitiated, or to those who are seeking, because it's not something esoteric, it feels like it's such a hard thing to try and achieve or to figure out, and yet it is your natural state. You are in this state right now, you are functioning like this. So what's being talked of is you in all your glory, in all your shortcomings, in all your paradoxes, and all your contradictions, and all your glories. It is you. And you and I are not separate. There is the idea of separation, and that's fine as well, because it's in place so that each would become an invitation to another, and that invitation, once accepted, is no longer needed. So duality, as I've said before, is an invitation to awaken to what we truly are, and once that invitation is accepted, there is no need for it, and yet we still then honor the duality as is. And it sounds like trying to figure it out is the cat chasing its tail or the dog chasing its tail, and yet that infuriating trying to understand this is still it as well. Because where can you go, where can you go where you can escape from yourself? There's no place you can go where you're not.